All right, today's lesson is on zeros of polynomial functions. Starting out, we are going to review solving by factoring, which you solved quadratics by factoring in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. Same idea, we're just looking at higher degree polynomials. So x plus 2, so in factored form, x plus 2, x minus 3, 2x plus 5. If that's equal to 0, then you set each binomial equal to 0. X plus 2 equals 0, x minus 3 equals 0, 2x plus 5 equals 0, so x equals negative 2, x equals 3, x equals negative 5 halves. So 3 zeros, those are x-intercepts. When I graph that same polynomial function, you'll see that our answers, it's where it crosses the x-axis. So it's crossing at 3, negative 2, and negative 2.5. Okay, we're going to practice solving polynomials by factoring, but this time we have to do the factoring. So 24x to the fourth minus 54x squared equals 0. So this polynomial function, we want to find the zeros. We want to find where it crosses the x-axis. So let's factor. I can see that they have a GCF here, and the GCF is 6x squared. So divide both terms by 6x squared, and we have 4x squared minus 9. And after we take a GCF out, this is the difference of two squares, so 6x squared. That goes down to 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 3 equals 0. So then if we set each one equal to 0 and solve, the first one, x equals 0. Next one, x equals negative 3 over 2, and x equals positive 3 over 2. Those are the zeros of this polynomial. Okay, here's another example. X to the fourth minus 2x squared minus 35 equals 0. Okay, we need to factor this. This is one of those special case fourth degree polynomials, fourth degree trinomials. So these factor similar to just a basic quadratic, but instead of x, we've got x squared. What are factors of negative 35 that add up to negative 2? Let's see, we should think a plus 5 and a minus 7. So now if we set these equal to 0, x squared plus 5 equals 0, x squared minus 7 equals 0. So if we go and solve this, we'll have x squared equals negative 5. And then when we square root it, that is not a real solution. So it's not a 0 on the graph. It's not an x-intercept. We'll be dealing with this type of solution later in our unit. But for now, this is just not a 0. It's not an x-intercept. It's a solution, but we're not messing with those yet. So this one, if I solve, I'm going to add 7. X squared equals 7. So then when you square root both sides, x is plus and negative the square root of 7. So if you graph this polynomial, the x-intercept will be here. Okay, now we're switching gears. I'm going to give you the zeros, and then we're going to come up with a polynomial that has those zeros. So let's say a polynomial has zeros 0, 3, and negative 4. Now, technically, we can have a variety of answers, but we are looking for a polynomial function of least degree with these zeros. So, if these are the zeros, let's think about what creates those zeros. This would be if I had an x. I'm looking in factored form. A positive 3 would mean x minus 3. And then a negative 4 would be x plus 4. And we're writing a polynomial function. So what we want to do is now FOIL this out. So if I multiply here, I'll have x squared plus 4x minus 3x minus 12. So x squared plus x minus 12, and then distribute the x. So I'll have the polynomial function x to the third plus x squared minus 12x. Okay, next example, there's a bit of new information, a new word, vocab word for you. So 2 is a 0, and multiplicity of 2. I'll explain what that means. And then we also have a 0 of -1. What that means is this 0 of 2 is happening twice. So what creates a 0 at 2 would be x minus 2. Because of this multiplicity 2, it means that binomial squared. Times -1 would be x plus 1. So now if we expand that, so let's look, this is f of x. So that would be x minus 2 times x minus 2 times x plus 1. So I'm going to have x squared. This goes to minus 4x plus 4. And then I still have to multiply by x plus 1. So I'm going to distribute the x first. X to the third minus 4x squared plus 4x. And then distribute the 1 plus x squared minus 4x plus 4. And then combine like terms. So x to the third minus 3x squared. These cancel, plus 4. So there is my polynomial function with these zeros. So that is your full lesson, your full video on zeros of polynomial functions. Good luck.